Good work.
Good luck, guys.
Starting a business from the ground up is not easy by any means. What would you say is the most challenging part of this journey for you, creating your own business?
The most challenging part, I think there's a lot of really challenging parts, but I think the most challenging part is doing the work without knowing the result and having like faith in your vision for the thing when nobody else can see what you see. And so it's like you have to be your own cheerleader for a long time without any help, without anybody like understanding what you see the industry or what you see the business being, and just trusting yourself. And I think that's a really, really hard and at times a very, very lonely place, because you're trying to build this thing and nobody else sees what you see, and you're like, why can't you just see what I see? And then you'll do the thing that then you'll do this thing that I want you to do. And I think that's the hardest thing, because it's very, very lonely. And I also think that in the beginning you have like you don't have really like cheerleaders, but you have people who kind of like maybe see what you're trying to do, and they'll like, you know, they kind of help you out a little bit. And then you also have people who don't see what you're trying to do, and they are naysayers because they don't see the thing. And I think like parsing those people out is very, very hard as well.
Would you say there's an added pressure and an added difficulty with people not seeing your vision, no pun intended, but because sports optometry is so niche that there's just not a lot of practices out there, let alone, you know, larger corporations that understand the importance, or, you know, we're going out and trying to tell people how important this is and they've never heard of it before. So on top of starting a new business where maybe people don't see the vision, like an app or a business or a clothing company where they don't understand because it's such an oversaturated market. So would you say there's an added pressure and difficulty on top of people not even understanding or knowing that this kind of niche of training exists?
Yeah, I think there's a whole, so I started the business in 2018, did maybe like a couple days a week as I was doing part-time, like still general optometry. And then that turned into 2019. And then we were just about to open our first facility, our first office within the D1 over in Noblesville. And then COVID hit. And so then that delayed everything, right? So now I have COVID, a global pandemic, me trying to start a business, and me trying to start a business that nobody knows about or doesn't even know that this idea or this concept is available, right? So it's like all of these things were just against me. And I think that was really tough too, is just like having the perseverance to push through those things to get to the vision of it, when most people would have been like, I'm not doing this.
Time to pivot.
Time to just go back to regular optometry, right. Or time to like pivot to something else, or like, okay, this isn't going to work right now. And I was dumb enough, or you know, to continue to try and make it work, even in spite of all those things that were kind of going on. And that's kind of got us to here today. I remember there was a point where it was like early in 2021, like maybe like January, and I was sitting in the office over at the D1, and I had pulled up my bank account for the business, and I had 87 cents in there. And that was a very like tough moment. It was like, okay, either we're gonna figure it out or I'm gonna close it down. And I just feel that this is what I was made for. Like this, it combines all of the things that I love. And I think that that's like the thing that helps like push through some of that, like, yeah, we're going to go out and talk to people who have no idea that we exist because we are so niche. And there's going to be people who don't understand what we're trying to do, and people who don't value what we're trying to do. But so like, that's okay. And I think overcoming those things has been a really tough part of the journey, but really like character building and really like refining our vision to go out and tell people what we do and how we do it. And more importantly, like why we do this, because I think that there's just a bunch of athletes, a bunch of programs, a bunch of people that could benefit from this that are just not aware, or most athletes aren't even getting eye exams regularly, and that's just a general level. And so I think our mission is bigger, and that allows me to like push through the niche and the struggles and all of those things that are still present, like after 7 years.
Perfect. Okay, this one will say, you made the transition from corporate optometry to sports vision optometry. What inspired the shift? What ultimately drove your decision to make that change? Just maybe so you can have an idea of what I'm going to ask you before.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm fine filming whatever on the fly.
So you made the transition from standard corporate optometry to sports vision optometry. What inspired that change, and what ultimately drove your decision to making that full transition of I'm coming into the office every day, I'm doing standard optometry vision or standard optometry, and now you want to make this larger transition to a very niche, part of optometry that we were talking about?
Yeah. I dreaded going into work every single day as a general corporate optometrist. And I was so like unhappy at work. I was so like, I was not the best version of myself. I was not allowed to be creative. When I had ideas that I wanted to like implement at the office, like it was always like a no, that's not how we do it. When I wanted to like maybe try and bring like some sports vision optometry to the practice and like see if we could do some of this stuff, they said no. Like it was very, this is what we do, this is how we do it. You're gonna see 26 patients a day, and you're just a cog in the machine of how we make money, right? Like it wasn't like I was valued, it wasn't like my ideas were valued, and like all of that just like wears on you over time. And I'm a highly creative person. Like if you left me in a room alone to just create stuff, like that's my happy space. Like, drawing, like just being as creative as I can, and just like doing stuff like that. And it was not encouraged or allowed or praised at corporate optometry. And so like that just wears on you after time. And then also like the monotony of eye exam after eye exam after eye exam, like same thing, same patient, same boringness of it. And I just was so unhappy. And then my daughter was born in December of 2016, and that was all I wanted to get home to. Like I would go in as late as I possibly could and get out as fast as I possibly could, and that's not a good employee. Like I'm not a good employee when that's my mentality, right? And it just kind of finally came to a head where they saw that I was unhappy, I was expressing being unhappy, and then they ultimately fired me. They let me go because of my unwillingness to do above and beyond for them when they were not willing to do anything above and beyond for me. They wanted me to travel to Terre Haute 2 days a week in the middle of winter when I just had a new baby, an extra 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and I wasn't going to be paid extra. Like, I'm not willing to do those kind of things for a company that doesn't value me. And so like that stuff finally came to a head, and I was like, they were like, okay, it's probably best that we part ways. And then, as luck would have it, that very next weekend, I went to a men's retreat, a Christian men's retreat called the Great Banquet. And I just been fired from the job, was feeling all sorts of feelings, and I just went to this retreat, and there was something in there that like put it on my heart to go after this thing, go after the thing that I like knew that I was wanting to do for years and years and years. And they had this ceremony. It's called the nailing it to the cross. And this is like the second or third day of the entire thing. And you're just kind of in the Word with Jesus. You're just talking about like things that people have struggled with, things that you struggled with, things that like don't make sense to you, and all these feelings and emotions come up, and you got these big burly men crying because they're reliving trauma, and they're like going through all their stuff. And there's a ceremony where it's called nail it to the cross, and you put your fear, you put your whatever thing that somebody was molested when they were 12 years old, or they all the bad things, and you put it on the cross and you say, God, please just take this from me. Right? Mine, for my whole life, that I didn't realize until the great banquet, like that we had done some soul searching, was like a big fear of failure. Like I was always afraid of not like putting myself out there too much, that I would fail, and then everyone would laugh at me, and everyone would think that I was dumb, and everyone would like, I just wanted to be good enough to like achieve the thing that I was going to achieve without the risk of failing. Right? For years it held me back. And I say that like held me back. Like I graduated optometry school. I got a doctorate. Like those were big achievements. But to me, it was like I feel like I could do much more. Like I feel like I wasn't putting all of my effort, all of the time in. And it was because of this fear of failure. And so like I literally wrote this on a piece of paper, folded the piece of paper up, grabbed this giant nail on this huge 30-foot cross, and I like literally nailed it to the cross. And I was like, I started crying. And it was like this very emotional, like religious experience where he was like, I got you. And, everybody doesn't believe what I believe, but like I had that feeling of like, I got you. This thing that you want to do, like you are good enough to do the thing. And so that's really what, like 2 days later, I went and started the company, the LLC, and then started like building it. And that was really like the backstory. I know this is a really long answer to your question, but like that's the backstory to why I started it, because of like all of these things that were like moving parts in my life. And I just felt like this is what I was made for, and this is my calling for my life, my career, but also like to inspire and help as many people as possible along the way who also want to achieve the thing that they're made for, and also want to be a great basketball player and be a great hockey player, and like achieve the goals that they're after and remove obstacles in their way, and then just this be a business that prioritizes helping as many people as possible.
And picking back off of your fear of failure, I think we both know that in life in general, you can't succeed without some sort of failure. And so after being able to sit there, decide this is what you're going to do, and put your 110% effort into it, after the 7 years that you've had so far at Aries Elite Sports Vision, are there certain times that you can reflect on where you did feel like you failed, or you let someone down, let clients down, let employees down, and you felt like a failure, but in the end it allowed you room to grow and expand?
I have failed in this 7 years more every day than, like every single day I fail more than I had in my entire life. Like every day I feel that there is a, like, I don't even want to call it failure anymore. Like I want to say like I am learning every single day the things to do, the things not to do, the things to prioritize, the way to like focus things, the way to like leadership, all those things. Like I'm not necessarily made to be a leader, but I think from like those are all like really small failures. Like, yeah, we missed out on this team. Yeah, we didn't close the contract on this, or like that was an opportunity that we let slip away, but maybe it's not gone yet, right? Like those are all things that like they're little things. I think the thing that I failed with initially was I failed my wife and my kids initially, because I had prioritized work, trying to build this so that I could provide the life for them that I know that they deserve, and that like led to a lot of like strife within my marriage, We actually ended up separating for about 5 months in 2022. And like that was a really dark time for me. And so like I felt like I had failed as a father, as a husband, as a business person. Like I felt massive failure. And I think the thing you don't realize is like you have to set your priorities and what you're not willing to negotiate on early on in your journey, and say, these are my non-negotiables. Like this is a non-negotiable, this is a non-negotiable. And I didn't do that very well. And so I failed initially with that piece of it. And then I think through the separation, like I saw what I potentially would lose, and that there's no way I was losing that.
Right.
And so I reset priorities. I said, okay, business, you're coming in third, fourth, fifth. Like that's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna put you on a 5 rungs down the ladder, but I'm gonna put God in my relationship, my wife and my kids on ladders 1 and 2, and then everything else just kind of falls after that. So like I said, I'm not working on Saturdays and Sundays anymore. Like that is family time, always family time. I am done unless me and my wife agree on like, hey, I need to work late this night or whatever. Like I'm done at 6 o'clock till 9 or 9:30 when we have time like with the family. And then after that time, like I can do work if I need to, or I can go to bed and get up early. And like setting those priorities was the thing that I really learned through that failure in that dark time.
I feel like this is gonna be like really good for YouTube for like long form stuff. So this is really good. I looked through all these questions. I want to see what. What is it that motivates you every day to keep pushing forward? Because obviously you've seen the corporate optometry life where you didn't want to come into work. You were leaving as early as you could, getting there as late as possible. You've, opened about your struggles with whether it's your marriage, not feeling like you're a good enough father, through this whole aspect of creating a business, a very niche business with that. And even though you love it and you're passionate about it, I think all of us, either lack some discipline at some point in our lives, or you just lack the motivation or the want or the need to continue going, especially if you are faced with a lot of failure at time. So what is it that keeps you waking up every day and the willingness to put one foot in front of the other when maybe some days aren't as great?
The thing that I think the thing that I always come back to is that I want to show my kids that grit, determination, hard work, consistency, like just showing up is more important than being the smartest or the most talented. And that stuff will always lead to better things than being the most talented at a thing and not putting in the work and the effort. Like you hear all these people talking about like, oh, consistency and showing up and blah, blah, blah. And it's like putting that into action and actually doing that every single day genuinely works. Mm-hmm. I know everybody that's like the hype stuff and that's all the stuff that like everyone says you have to do, but like that, it works, but it's really hard to do. Like, it's really hard to do when you're like, well, I'm just really talented and I can take the day off, right? You can. And so I think the driving motivator is like, yeah, I'm 10% of myself today, but I'm going to give that 10%. Like, some days I have 98%, some days I have 10%. But, like, if I can give that 10%, I'm going to give that 10% because I chose to give that 10%. Because I want to be consistent. I want to show up. I want to do the thing that I'm really passionate about, right? Every single day. Like, I don't think that there's a day that I take off, even when I'm off. Like, in my head, this is the thing that like legitimately pulls me out of bed, keeps me up at night. I was working last night on coding I have no idea how to code stuff, but I'm like sitting there like, okay, if I was going to create this drill, how would I want it to look? How would I want the style to be? Like I am super passionate about providing the best version of what I think this space could be for people, and putting things into reality that do not exist yet is really fun for me. Like being creative, doing the thing that I think will be really beneficial for athletes in the long term. But doing that requires me to just consistently show up every single day, even if I only have that like 10% to give. And so, what was the question again?
What keeps you going?
Yeah,
So
I think that is what like the
and
vision
seeing the
of
successes probably of a lot of the athletes and
the vision of what we're still going towards. Like we're not even started yet. Like that's how I feel. But also like I feel like that's a lot of the fun part is the journey of it. Like the journey of it is the thing that also keeps me going. Like today I get to go do something really, really cool later. Can't talk, I mean, we don't really want to talk about it right now, but like it's super cool. And then we have calls with these teams that are like global teams, and I'm like, we're nobody in Indiana. I'm just a guy who started a business, and like we're working with some of the biggest teams on the planet. That's super cool. Like that is like jaw-droppingly cool that we get to do that stuff, and it's just because I showed up every single day and outpaced everybody else who just wanted the easy solution and wasn't like gritty and hardworking and persevered to like getting that thing. And again, it just comes back to that, like, I just want to show my kids, like, you can go do whatever you want. Just show up and do it and give it everything that you have that day. And then tomorrow, maybe you'll have more. Tomorrow, maybe you'll have less. Still give what you got. And then you can achieve great things, I think. Just tell me if I sound like an idiot.
No, this is good. This
Okay.
is really good.
Or if I sound too preachy. I'm just trying to like
No,
talk
it's
it through
good.
like my
No, it's
experience
good.
of
It's
it.
really
Okay.
good. Okay, there's two questions. I'll let you decide which one you want me to ask.
Ask both of them.
So I would say leading a team has its own set of unique challenges. What have been some of the biggest hurdles that you've had to face managing and guiding a team after starting your own business?
Yeah. That's the scariest part for me. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I genuinely, and I want you guys to know this too, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I need all of your help for all of this stuff. So I think that that's one of those things where it's like, when you become a dad, you're like this little tiny baby, this new person, and they're like, here you go, leave the hospital with it. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. How can you trust me with this? Like, just because we made it doesn't mean I'm okay to do this. And that's how that's genuinely how it feels running a business. Like I feel like the business part's kind of grown up and it's like its own angsty teenager right now. But like when I'm leading you guys and the team, like it feels like I'm just like, somebody hold that. It just threw up on me. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, when I brought Jordan on, he was initially like our first hire, like helping me like with tasks and stuff like this. I'm like, Jordan, I don't know. Like, help me. Like, what can you do? Like, what are you good at? Help me with that. Okay, great. What do you like to do? Help me with that. I think that's like the scariest thing, because then also like now I have to shoulder the responsibilities too of like making sure you guys are good, making sure like I'll take food away from my table. There are months where I don't take any money home because I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. Like as a dad, that's what you do too. You're like, I don't need new shoes, I don't need new shirts. I'll shop at Goodwill so that my kids can eat and that my kids can thrive and that my family is taken care of. And I know that's like a really like, I don't even want to like view it as family, but like, I think we're a really good team and I want to make sure my team is taken care of above my needs. And I think that's also like the really scary part too, is that like we're trying to do these big things. We're trying to build the EMR. We're spending money in these places where maybe most people would say, don't spend money there.
Right.
But I know what we need. I know that things that like have to be done in order for us to get to that vision part. And so it's like, how do I burden the struggle, trying to shield you guys from as much as possible and still give you the tools and give you the ability to like thrive and be a part of something that's gonna be awesome, you know? And I want to learn and grow and become the best leader I can be, but I don't have a playbook. Like other people can tell you how to do things, but until you live that thing, until you actually experience that, like, okay, we got $5,000 left in the account, we got to make payroll, we have to pay rent, we have to pay the EMR guy, we have to do this. Okay, where does that money come from? Okay, do we need to go out and get capital? Do we need to do like venture capital? Do we need to go angel investor? Like, what do we need to do to make the next step? And like, I just don't know. And I don't know if I will ever know the right move. Like, I'm just trying to do the best I can so that I can give you guys the best you can have. And like actually build a career and build something that you guys are like, gosh, yeah, I was a part of that. Like, I'm a part of this really cool thing. And we did that together. Like that early struggle, we did that together. And that feels very family, but it also feels very team, right? Like when you win a championship with your team, like there's no greater celebration than winning a championship with your team, because like, you know, all the shit you went through to get to that part. You know, all the fights that you had, you know, all the errors and the injuries and all the stuff. And then when you win, everyone's like, oh, congratulations, great job. And you're like, you don't even know what we did. You have no idea how hard this was. And so that celebration feels even bigger. And I just want to be a piece of giving that to us. But I don't know how.
We're figuring it out. Perfect. Okay. I feel like that's plenty. That's really good. Let's make sure